You know, when I was watching, when I was watching the Slug Daddy, Jeff Shiegel's OTRS Central Review of TLC, one of the questions he asked is why many people, basically one of the questions he asked is why people still supported AJ Lee. Why, despite her looking like a 14-year-old girl, why they were still behind her? Why they still support her? And the answer to that, Jeff, is real simple. The reason they support her, and I guess in a way, you could not compare it as much, but you could compare the reason fans like her and support her, despite being, I guess you could say, a cool heel, or an unpredictable cool heel. The reason people support her is just almost in the same way, not level-wise, not in the same level, but in a sense similar to how fans support Daniel Bryan. You see, fans support Daniel Bryan not just because of his underdog story and everything like that, and always being screwed out and this and that. They support Daniel Bryan because they've seen what he's done in the past before he showed up in WWE, and his fan base from the Indies, from Dragon Gate, from Evolve, from Chikara, and most notably from Ring of Honor, carried over to WWE and expanded throughout the entire WWE universe. It grew within the WWE. That small indie fan, that huge indie fan base that Daniel Bryan had, carried over. That mostly grew. It was mostly grown in Ring of Honor. Carried over to WWE and grew on the WWE universe, and that's why you have that support. And yes, you add in the whole underdog story and being screwed at the WWE World title a couple of times, but that's one of the main reasons, because he was already known and already had an established fan base. AJ Lee, in a sense, is in that same category. Yeah, her fan base may not have been, AJ Lee's fan base may not have been as big as Daniel Bryan's, but it's still a fan base that she has carried over from her from her time on the Indies, and most notably in Shimmer, which is, I guess you could say, the premier all-female wrestling promotion in the country, if not the world. That, again, her fan base from her time on the Indies, and most notably in Shimmer, not as big as Daniel Bryan's that got carried over, but still the fan base she established there has carried over to WWE Universe. It's carried over to WWE. It's carried over to the WWE Universe, and has grown on them. It's basically expanded. Maybe not as quickly, maybe not as fast, maybe not as rapidly as Daniel Bryan's has, but it has grown. And that's why fans still support AJ Lee, despite she's being portrayed as a unpredictable, psychotic, non-diva or anti-diva heel. Fans still support her because of her time on the Indies, and they've seen what she did on the Indies. They've seen what she's done with Shimmer, which I guess you could say is, like I said, it's the premier all-female wrestling promotion in the country, if not the world, and sort of the female equivalent of Ring of Honor, seeing as though both companies associate with each other at times. The point is, that is one of the reasons fans support AJ, because they've seen what she's done on the Indies. They've seen her in-ring work on the Indies. They've seen what she's done with her in-ring work in Shimmer. And they are looking and seeing that translate to her time now in WWE. That's why they support her. And believe it or not, just like the WWE brass sees a great asset and great potential pushing and momentum gainer, well, basically a great asset, if you will, as well as the potential future WWE World Champion in Daniel Bryan again, because of his overall popularity and support. Even though hers is not on that same level, they still see the same thing. They still see that support. They still see fans are into AJ because of who she is, because of what she does in the ring. You know, she's one of those rare female wrestlers from the indies that when you get signed to WWE, that when they get signed to WWE, you know, just gets it. She understands the philosophy. She gets it. You know, same thing with Daniel Bryan. He gets it. He understands it. You see, that is why you have AJ in the position she's in right now, because of that fan base. Even though she's supposed to be portrayed as a psychotic, unpredictable, crazed, anti-diva heel, she is still pushed as Divas Champion because of that support. And it's that support that's carried from her days in the Indies, in her days mostly with Shimmer. I mean, if you look at her championship history before WWE, I believe she was Shimmer champion. I believe she was the world champion of Shimmer. So, when you have her on the not the same level of equivalence, but on an equivalence almost, not at the same level, but similar to a Daniel Bryan and even a CM Punk, it's basically due to the fact that that the fan base she made on the indie scene, as well as her time in Shimmer, has carried over to WWE. And, like I said, not as quickly, but is basically starting to grow, not as quickly, but it is growing on the WWE Universe. It's expanding on the WWE Universe, maybe not as fast, and maybe not as big as Daniel Bryan's, but it's slowly growing on the universe to where when she comes out, she gets a reaction. She gets a reaction. And that is why Jeff Sheagle, Schleg Daddy, why WWE has not yet taken the belt off her. Because she has that support. She gets that reaction. You know, and I guess maybe from a storyline standpoint, they want her to prove to the world that non-diva competitors especially in big-time situations, can overcome and beat the total diva competitors. That's the way I look at it. And maybe storyline-wise, it's supposed to show that, hey, I don't go with the script. I do what I want. So, who knows? Who knows? But anyway, like I said, that is why that is why people support AJ. It's the same equivalence, not on the same level, but it's a similar equivalence to why fans support Daniel Bryan and CM Punk. Not just because of what they've done in WWE, not because of certain sayings and whatever, or certain looks. It's basically because of what they've done before they showed up in WWE, before they signed with the WWE, before they, in the case of Daniel Bryan, and you know, basically before all three of them went to the developmental territories of WWE. You know, Daniel Bryan to FCW, NXT, mostly FCW. CM Punk to OVW. AJ Lee to FCW, NXT, well, mostly FCW. Basically, that is why fans support them, because of what they did before they showed up in WWE. That is why fans support AJ, because of what she's done before she showed up in WWE. That is why fans support Paige. And Paige is the NXT Women's Champion. And that's why they're always praying and hoping for Paige to show up on the main roster. Heck, she might even show up tonight. Maybe not, but still. The thing is, that's why they support and hope for her to show up, because she has a fan base that goes back before she signed with WWE. That goes back before she went to WWE's developmental territory in NXT. Because of her time on the Indies, because of her time in Shimmer, just like AJ Lee's. And that is why fans support AJ. Even despite the fact that she's supposed to be portrayed as a psychotic, crazed, anti-diva heel. So, that's all I'm going to say on it, Jeff. Let me know what you and anybody else here thinks about it. But that is why fans do support AJ Lee. So comments are welcome. And take care. God bless. I'm out.